I had a big interest in ponies when I was sort of 8, 9, 10, 11, and there was a couple of small trainers that trained locally to Rugby where I was living at the time, and used to go and work with them at weekends, etc. And basically built my interest up from there. And there was a jockey, Ian Johnson. He rode Dominion for Arthur Budget, and you know, he was quite a successful jockey at the time. His dad used to come in the pub and had contacts from there, and got to know Ian quite well at the time. And he sort of took me under his wing for a year or so and taught me the basics of being a jockey. We started actually at Newark, Nottinghamshire, about 5 miles from Southall. They'd just put the all-weather in there. We were doing our livery work from that particular property, but in hindsight, I should never have started training from there. The facilities, gallops, etc. were never good enough. We only trained there for 6 months after living there for a couple of years. And then we moved to Broadway, near Cheltenham, to a yard owned by Michael Barrow, who had just retired as manager of Duran Duran, the pop group. And he made a pile of money out of them, and he was very interested in horses, so we took over his yard. We were there for a couple of years. Following that, we moved to a yard at Ginge near Wantage, Oxfordshire, and we trained there for 5 years. And things started to snowball then, and you know, the winners were getting more and more every year, and things started to take shape. We moved from Lambourn to Newmarket, which was never the plan. I never really wanted to go to a big training centre like that. The gallops are obviously superb at Newmarket, but they are very heavily populated with horses. Traffic now has become a major problem. And although we were very successful at Newmarket, we just felt it was never our plan to go there, and we never fully settled there. And we heard about Spigot Lodge being on the market at the time. Guy Reed owned the property, came up to have a look. I'd never been up to Middleham, and it's a beautiful part of the world. And it was very important at the time for us. We had 2 young daughters, and to bring them up in an area like this was much preferable than bringing them at Newmarket. But that said, we looked at the gallops. Obviously, Mark Johnson was a big advert for the area at the time and for the gallops, so we knew that they were good enough if the horses were good enough. And the gallops here are very, very good. And I would go, and I've always said this since we've been here, the artificial gallops in Middleham are as good as any artificial gallop in Newmarket. You know, maybe we lack the grass gallops if you compared them to Newmarket, but gallops are superb, very, very healthy area, and I think that's very important. You know, pollution is non-existent up here in the hills, where you get to Newmarket and there's a lot of traffic there. Been well publicised. They're building more and more houses, etc. So it's not going to get any better. Lambourn, very similar problem. They're close to the M4, maybe, you know, not as heavily populated as Newmarket. Epsom, identical. So I think it's very, very important that we're quite high up here. It's that bit cooler, but the airflow is great, and it's a very, very healthy environment for training a racehorse. We've trained, the biggest was the Group 1 Prix Jean Prat in France at Chantilly in '09. That was a great result with Lord Shanicle, a horse we bought in Kentucky. That would be the biggest winner of my career. We've trained a lot of handicap winners, big handicap winners, and other group races as well. We've had Group 3s, Group 2s, listeds. So you know, it's been a very successful place for us to train from.
Heading down then with less than 2 furlongs to go. Shamandar on the right now. The maroon and light blue jacket is challenging Kagatozi, and the outsider of them, Rainier, the red jacket, white sleeves, coming through and almost takes it up now. And as they head down into the last furlong, it's Rainier who's come through, leads by about a length or so to Kagatozi in second place, and as they race towards the line, Rainier, the outsider, has won it. Kagatozi second, tight third, Shamandar and Norville.
I think to train a horse in Middleham, a major issue is a safe environment for your horse. And you know, Middleham compared to other training centres, very, very low on traffic. It's just a totally safe environment. It's very much a farming community. The local community are used to seeing livestock on roads, etc. And that is a big problem with with other training centres. It's a big issue, and I think that for that reason alone, it's a great place to send a horse to train here. Once the horse is here, the owners, it's a beautiful part of the world to come and see. Some great hotels, some great restaurants, and all in all, the whole package for the owner and the horse, Middleham is the place to be.